Two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
And welcome into the OG Write That Down, Mackey and Judd. Of course, our predictions for the National Football League and the Vikings are on the Purple Daily. Write that down. If you're looking at the screen right now, if you're watching us on your big screen 80-inch TV and you're saying, there's only two guys there and I'm seeing way too much, that's because Phil is off today, but he did pre-record predictions, so he very much will participate in Write That Down, as will who is definitely going to have a theme to his predictions as well. It's Judd, it's Declan who will explain, if you are not familiar with Write That Down, exactly how it works.
Yeah, we'll run through our three predictions here in just a sec. But, Judd, it's the holiday weekend, and you want to make sure all the electrical stuff is taken care of. Who do you call, though?
Electronical, too. Is electronical right? It always pops into my head.
I guess when I think electronical, I think devices. So I think, like TV, phone, video games, TV, that type of stuff.
Write this down. In fact, write this down and know it's going to be a home run prediction, because the prediction is going to come off the board immediately because the prediction is true. Finch Home Solutions, Cody Finch and his team, you see the vans in that familiar color scheme leaving right now. You know what they are doing? They're going all throughout the Twin Cities to fix anything or to improve things in your home. That can include projects big, that can include projects small. They have done work at my house. They're absolutely outstanding. We're talking about, you know what? Let's say you got a two-prong outlet, old school, and you want it to be three-prong. Do you know who you call? Finch. They fix it. Let's say you are redoing your entire kitchen or installing a hot tub, which is a huge job, right? But there's a lot of electrical work there. Do you know who you call or contact? Finch. In fact, if you are a Score North / Purple Daily viewer and or a listener and spend over $500, you're going to get $100 off. So is that not a deal? 612-357-2604 or finchhomesolutions.com. That's finchhomesolutions.com. Write that down and make sure that you follow through, because you'll be happy you did.
All right, here's how Write That Down works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We do keep track of batting averages and home runs on this edition of Write That Down. If you'd like to participate, like our guy Will is about to in just a bit, you can hit me up through the Score North app. You can also DM me on Twitter. Openings starting in August, so if you'd like to join the OG edition here, Write That Down, please feel free to reach out. We're going to start with Judd. A few things off the board. We will start with the bad. You said the Wolves will move their 27th overall pick.
Terrible beat because they did. I assume that when they moved up that this was involved, and it wasn't because of the genius of Tim Conley. So this was a bad beat.
Oof. Second prediction here. Tanner Morgan will be on the initial Minnesota Arena football team roster. The team folded. Didn't last.
And he wasn't on the team.
And he wasn't on the team either.
This could have been right. If they had folded, but he had been on the roster to start the season, it's right. So, yes, this was not a bad beat. It was just wildly incorrect.
So, the Arena Football League's still going, right? Like there are still...
Yeah, teams are folding sort of like slowly but surely. It's a very odd. I did see that there is a desire to bring a team back with a new ownership group here, but I'm not so sure we need it.
No, agreed.
You did say thing, Declan,
in a very Judd-like prediction that Jorge Polanco will miss at least 25 games with the Mariners. So congratulations. Nice little beat the shift up the middle hit there for Judd.
Yep, exactly.
Couple things for Mackey. He said Anthony Edwards will be among the top 10 jersey sales for 23-24. He was not even in the top 15 for NBA.com.
A little surprised by that.
I'm surprised by that as well. Very surprised. The Wolves, he was right on this one, will draft a point guard in this year's draft. And per Tim Connolly, this is from, by the way, Phil
He's right.
is putting in the parentheses. I did not put in the parentheses here. He said Rob Dillingham is, quote, a point guard who gets buckets. So this counts for Phil.
Yeah, I wouldn't, if Phil hadn't put in that qualifier, I wouldn't debate it.
Yeah.
So.
And he's not getting himself a home run either. He's not trying to, sneak us by here with replay.
Oh, no. And I wouldn't give him one.
No
way. No bleeping way.
Lucas, who joined us, I believe, last week, said by the start of the season, the Wolves will keep Cat, Monte Morris, but lose Kyle Anderson. Monte signed with the Suns. Oh,
yeah, that's a
tough beat here, Lucas.
That's a tough beat, but yeah, and they what? They traded the rights to Kyle to the Golden State Warriors for a second-round pick.
I think that's correct.
And then Kyle had agreed to a contract with Golden State.
Not good. A few things off the board for me. A couple David Festa related predictions. Number one, I said he'd strike out the first batter he faced. He got him to 0-2 if I remember right, and I was sitting there at the top of my couch being great. I'm gonna have another home run here, and I think it was a ground out to short or something. So
my favorite was when I got a text from you late last night that said David Festa's skinnier than me.
He is.
Found a guy who's a big. I told you if you and Festa stood side by side and turned sideways, I think Festa disappears more than Declan.
I know I look young for my age, and I've never hid from that. I've never balked at that. I totally get that, and I don't really have a problem with people assuming that I'm younger than I am. When I saw David Festa in the locker room yesterday, I thought, is this a clubby? Is this an intern?
Oh, wow.
Who is this? I had no idea until I realized, oh my God, that's David Festa. Really huge farmer tan. I didn't think this was a Major League Baseball player.
I've had the same tan myself several times.
Me too.
So if you were to put an age guesstimate on him, what would you guess?
19.
Wow. Okay.
I 19.
Wow.
19. So very interesting stuff. I said by July 1st, the Twins will be within 3 games of the AL Central. Also incorrect. I think they did creep as high as 4 at one point in June.
Yeah.
And still not within really striking distance of Cleveland. I see Cleveland Guardian fans are taking a weird Royce clip and putting it out of context of the fact that he thinks Cleveland is not that good, and then they were celebrating that Royce Lewis got injured yesterday. So very classy move by the Guardians Twitter fan base that was making the rounds.
Whatever. That's
very strange.
Yeah, Royce is about the last guy on the face of the earth that would actually come out and say directly, "Your team sucks."
Yeah, and I don't think, and he didn't say he sucks. He just said, I don't believe that they'll be in first place for a long time, which is a fact.
Yeah, well, he was confident in his team. That's all he was saying. But I mean, that's the wrong guy to try and find that from. Byron Buxton would be a lot more likely to say something inflammatory about the Guardians than Royce Lewis would.
I don't even know if he would do that because he's also.
I'm just saying he's more likely.
Sure.
Because he gets more fiery. Royce is just a positive guy.
I said Pablo Lopez will have a 3 ERA or lower in the month of June. It was 5 again. I think the spirit of this prediction is correct long term, but I put it in the wrong quantifying of the month of June. By the way, I'll save it for a future episode. I caught up with Pablo yesterday to talk more about that whole pitch mix sequence. Yep. Got some great insight from Pablo on that. So stick around for a future Twin Show episode.
And Saturday at the ballpark, Pablo Bobblehead Day.
Bobblehead Bobblehead Day, huh? Yeah. I take it you're going to go so you can get your bobblehead and then peace out?
No, I'll probably stick around for part of the game.
Okay.
But good. Yes, I am 100% plan on being at the ballpark to get it because that's the last one that's a giveaway for the season. So.
All right, I did redeem myself, and with a home run for the first time in a very long time. I said David Festa would be recalled by the Twins between now and the All-Star break. I said that a few weeks back. He was indeed recalled. Nice little Mauer pot shot for me. First home run in quite some time, so I will take it. I will definitely take it. Here's your statistics on the 2024 season. Phil leads with a 403 average and 7 home runs. A hot start for Phil.
Yep.
The listeners, though, best start they have had, I believe, Judd, and you can speak from here.
It's ever. They've never been this deep into a season with that. They've hit a ton of bombs. They have never had, as I recall, an average like this ever.
Yeah, 362 and 7 home runs. Yep. They usually have some power to them, but they have figured out their swing as well for some knocks. I'm hitting 357 with 4 home runs. Slower start for Judd, but still a 317 respectable average. And 5 home runs. Yeah. Career stats, I lead all-time 360 with 40 bombs. Listeners lead all-time with 62 bombs. Judd leads all-time in career total hits of 328. Mackey hitting 280 with 53 career home runs. All right, we will get Phil's predictions via satellite here in just a bit. But Ski-U-Mah and row the boat. What's going on, Will?
Row the boat, Ski-U-Mah, go Gophers, boys.
That's very good. Great way to start.
You joked with us before we started, Will. You said, "Do you think you know what predictions I'm going to make today?" And I think we have a pretty good hunch here. For our audio audience, Will is decked out in Gopher gear, by the way.
That's right. I'm making a lot of Minnesota Twins predictions today.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
May I be the first to say, though, that I saw the conference now because it's, you've got teams being added left and right. If there was ever a year for the Big Ten not to go away from divisions, this was it. You see that hodgepodge? Like it, I don't see how it's going to be fun unless you're a Ohio State fan, unless you're, perhaps a Michigan fan. I mean, why didn't they just keep the divisions to at least give like fans of the Gophers something to sort of watch? And I know it's been disappointing, but anyway, just a quick complaint from me.
It's a whole nother podcast, probably.
I got a lot of complaints, and that's one.
Yeah.
Some involve sports, some don't. All right.
So here's how it's going to work. Will, we're going to start with you for your first prediction. We're then going to go to Judd, then to me, and then Phil via satellite. So, Will, you are under center. What do you got for us? What PJ Fleck, like first and 10 I formation player are we starting with here in your first prediction?
I'm going to run inside zone here, try to keep the average going. Gophers win total right now sitting at 5. I believe they go over that and become bowl eligible.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, tough schedule, right, for this year?
Yeah, on the surface at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. All non-conference games at home this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, which is interesting that they don't have a road game there. So here's a quick question. Do they have to win in your prediction? Do they have to win 6 games? Because they made a bowl last year because they academically qualified, but they but they fell short of the act. So like we're talking about they have to be football bowl eligible with 6 wins. Is that correct?
Yeah, they go over the win total. They pay the over on the 5. So
gotcha.
No pushing on the 5.
Yeah. So they can't just be good scholastically this time around.
That's right. This isn't a GPA prediction.
Yeah. And because you know what, quite frankly, I don't care what the GPA is. How about that, Mark Coyle?
Yes.
You guys, I don't even care if they go to class. Just give them their money and let them play the sport and win games. All right.
Is this a prediction, Judd, or is this just a rant?
That was a rant.
Okay.
Well, there was no prediction there, aside from the fact that I don't care what kids' grades are now. All right, so write this down. On the fly prediction, but because of what happened last night with Lewis getting hurt, and now last time, so you checked this morning, Declan, and no roster moves have been made, right?
No.
So I am making this with a clean
scuttle. We're recording this at 10:15 a.m. on a Wednesday,
clean
so people might consume this when there is news. But as of now, this recording, I checked, and there's nothing that I have found yet.
All right, I'm going to take this opportunity then to make this write that down prediction. Royce Lewis will be placed on the IL. I'm not going to give a time here just in case they back it up a little bit or something weird. So I'm not going to say today, but he will be placed on the IL, and the corresponding move will be Brooks Lee will be recalled. And make the qualifier for this injury, okay? So we can't wait till August and Royce gets hurt again. So it's either going to be, in fact, say this week. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Because I want to create some time span space here, but it's not fair. Like if I'm like, hey, in August, Royce got hurt again and Brooks Lee got called up.
Oh, yeah, and you're saying in the corresponding press release that's announced formally by the Twins.
Brooks Lee gets recalled. Exactly right.
I got you. Okay, I got you. So write this down. I believe this is a home run prediction. Judd, you tell me if it isn't. But the Twins are still without a grand slam this year. Haven't hit a single grand slam. I think they're one of like 5 teams without a grand slam.
Royce has missed so much time.
So there's only the All-Star break is still about 10 days out, so we still have another week of play. But write this down. By next week's write that down, the Twins will have hit their first grand slam.
Oh, yeah. That's all.
Is that a home run prediction?
Yes.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
Bases only get loaded so many times.
Certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
They had 2 cracks at it yesterday, and they...
Off the record, who hits it?
Well, Royce hurt. That's a problem. Probably Correa. It would be great. He's been in a huge funk, but if Jeffers could park one, and yesterday just a silly rule that he got tagged out on. That's 99% of the time you don't call that.
The umpire screwed it up, though. He didn't turn. Like, unless there was he did never
So-
look. You've got to make a definite turn towards second base.
Yes,
I didn't see the turn.
Textbook, though, he is technically out, but it's a ticky-tack call, and the umpire honestly shouldn't even be looking at something like that.
What's the move to second that you saw?
He made a hop, and he wasn't inside the foul territory line where he would have been safe. You know how they teach you to run hook, and then jog back in foul territory after you run out the bag.
Oh, he hooked?
He did not hook. That's my point. He did not hook into foul territory. He stayed within the line. He didn't cross the line of foul, and the umpire pulled a little ticky-tacky call, which it's technically textbook correct, but it's also kind of a little bit of BS to do something.
I always thought that you had to make some type of definite move towards second base. Like, I've never seen that. I've seen it only called on that before. But you know what? Good for the Tigers. Besides that, they suck, so...
Well,
they were supposed to be
Tyler
good.
Scooble's a good, really good
AJ
pitcher,
Hinch should be fired after this season. I'm done with AJ.
I love your hatred over baseball teams that you don't cover or watch.
The Tigers were supposed to be decent this year. They got off to a good start, and now they suck, and it's not fun. And yes, Scooble deserves more.
He does. All right, so Phil's first prediction here via satellite. Let's see.
Okay, prediction number 1 for me here on the OG edition, anyhow. Let's make a couple Timberwolves predictions today. So they've got, I think, 3 open roster spots, 2 that they have to fill before the season starts. So write this down. And by the way, Kyle Anderson signing with or sign and trade, I guess, with the Warriors kind of opens up the old man roster spot, right? Like the old wise sage, the guy that looks like he could barely latch onto a team at the YMCA. Like they need a guy like that. So write this down. The Timberwolves will acquire at least one of these 3 players before the season starts. Old man rec league legend Joe Ingles, Robert Covington, former Timberwolf from the Tom Thibodeau era, or I guess he was kind of like at the end of the Tom Thibodeau era when they traded Jimmy Butler. Or Lonzo Ball on a buyout from Chicago. He's still under contract with Chicago. Ingles and Covington are free agents. You could grab them right now on veteran minimum. So Joe Ingles, Robert Covington, or Lonzo Ball, or maybe more than one of those guys at some point before the season starts. Write it down.
Give me Ingles any day. I love that guy.
Love Joe Ingles?
Oh my God, it's incredible, and he's really. I mean, he's a great shooter, but if there's ever been a dude that looks like he does not belong on an NBA court from just his appearance, it's Joe. So give me Joe Ingles. I love him.
All right, Will, second prediction here, sir. What do you got?
I'm going to call this one the battle against the Baby Blues. The Gophers play 3 teams with Baby Blue in this season in their schedule. They play UNC. Rhode Island has a little bit of Baby Blue in that R.
Wow,
and then UCLA. Gophers go 3-0 in those games.
Okay.
I like it.
I actually like them a lot against UNC this to start. They're a slight favorite on the offshore books, and UNC is replacing their entire offensive line, quarterback. They have a really good running back, really good receivers. I'm hoping that the Gophers can improve defensively a little bit, give them a tough time, throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. I like their chances against UNC.
Okay. I am going to try to speak this into existence because from the Twin standpoint, damn it, it needs to happen. I'm afraid it won't. The Twins, write this down. The Twins will move on from Christian Vazquez before the end of the regular season. I can't take it anymore. It's not that it's just been a disaster. That's a bad contract. They're paying him way too much, and he does nothing basically. I know he's good to throw to, but congratulations for that. Christian Vazquez, the Twins will move on from him, Declan, before the end of the regular season.
All right.
They'll find a way. Do something. Get your
but
games on TV and get rid of Vazquez, and I'll be happy with you.
both catchers, I think since May 1st, are hitting like a collective 205, and that's not just Vasquez dragging down those numbers.
No, Jeffers has not been, and it's weird. Jeffers had a prolonged hot streak in which he was really, really good, but he didn't start good. He didn't start hot, and he's been bad of late. But I just can't take Vasquez anymore. You're paying him all that, and you're just getting no return.
All right, I'll make a bullpen prediction. We got some injury updates on Justin Topa and Brock Stewart yesterday. I believe Stewart's going to throw some batting practices, and then Topa has a couple bullpens. So write this down. Justin Topa and Brock Stewart will both be active together at the same time in the Twins bullpen between now and September 1st.
Okay.
They'll both be active together.
For how long? Off the record. How long? 3 days?
No, I think if Brock I'm more sure of, because Brock just needs a 3-month break and then he just pitches until his arm falls off again. Topa, I don't know. Topa, I
don't like their odds of. I don't like their odds of staying active together for long. Is my point.
Yeah.
So could see them both coming back at some point, and then one of them and Topa. Yeah, it's weird too because Topa. It feels like it's like okay, he's getting set to come back, and then there's some like. I'm not doing so well now.
Got a bum knee, which is a problem.
Yes,
all right, let's go to Phil. Second prediction here.
Summer League prediction for my second prediction. Leonard Miller, come on down, buddy. Leonard Miller, write this down, will lead the Timberwolves Summer League team in either points per game and or rebounds per game. This is a big summer for Leonard Miller. You got a wide open path to playing time here. Go dominate the Summer League. Write it down. Leonard Miller, either points per game or rebounds per game, will lead the Timberwolves Summer League team.
All right.
I know Phil is en route, I think, to Vegas as of this recording. I'm in Vegas. I just booked my tickets for a couple weeks from now. I'll be there over All-Star break time.
Whew. You guys are going
Vegas.
in the heat of the summer to Vegas. You guys are ballsy.
Yeah, my wife-to-be loves Vegas for the pools and the shopping. I love Vegas for, the normal reasons, the drinking and the gambling. So, good first test of marriage.
Yeah. Just make sure she wears sunscreen, okay?
It's more me. I need to wear sunscreen. She steps out naturally.
Dawn does too, but it's not healthy.
Look, this pale alabaster skin. No, I need the sunscreen. She can worry about herself. I need the sunscreen first. I'm just letting you know that.
Don't go outside. There's no reason. That's the great thing. You do not need to go outside ever.
No, that's true.
And sports books are great.
Judd doesn't go outside unless it's for a game, and even then he's a little iffy if there's not
an
enclosed press box. That's
exactly
true.
Right.
That's true. All right, Will, your third and final prediction, buddy. What do you got?
This is my would you say least favorite of the predictions because it includes PJ Fleck changing his best, and then also because it's all on him. But their new quarterback, Max Brosmer, redshirt senior guy, seems like the offensive coordinator and PJ really trusts him. I'm going to say that Max Brosmer throws for the most passing yards in a season since Tanner Morgan in 2019.
That's great. I'd love to see that.
Which isn't a huge bar to go over.
No.
It's like a hair over 2,000.
No.
So...
But it's
a start.
It's bringing the forward pass back into the game.
Right.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
Like if you could ever get O'Connell and Fleck together and produce a coach, I think you'd have the perfect, the run and the pass married together.
Absolutely. Justin Jefferson wouldn't hurt the Minnesota offense either.
That would also help.
Yes. Well, I will say this. I think it was 19, I at one point said that I thought at that point Rashad Bateman was the best receiver in town, and that included the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad Bateman was, and I mean that's hyperbole, but Rashad Bateman, my God, was he special that season.
Well, and it was unique on how they could target, like even Tyler Johnson. There'd be games where Tyler Johnson would have 9 catches for 200, and then the next game Rashad would be 9 catches for 200.
The bull catch in Tampa that Tyler made was incredible. That one in the back of the end zone, I have no idea how he caught that ball.
I actually have that the Star Tribune headline with Tyler and his foot down. I have that framed.
Nice, incredible,
very nice. Love that. Will, before we say goodbye here and you carry on with your day, any parting words, any last shout outs you'd love to give? Fire away.
Give a shout out to my grandpa. He's 50-plus year Gopher season ticket holder and is the reason that I'm such a big Gopher fan. I would also like to shout out, well, I'll do a quick plug for Phil, and it's appropriate he's not here. He did the sound story for my grandparents earlier this year, and it was incredible. I can't thank him enough for doing that. We got a lot of great stories that I've never heard, and just, seeing that kind of version of my grandparents is incredible, and highly recommend to anybody who wants something like that, do it, and do it with Phil. He's awesome at it. And I would like to thank also my beautiful fiance, Catherine, who allows me to scream at the TV for a couple hours every Saturday morning in the fall. So I really appreciate her for that. And off the record, can I make one off the record prediction?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Catherine is a big Oakland A's fan. They do exist. And my prediction is the A's are leaving Oakland after this year to go to Sacramento for 3 years. Their next permanent home will not be Las Vegas.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
There's definitely problems there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The issue that, it doesn't seem like anybody really cares, so it's not very well reported, but there seems to be a lot of issues with the financing and the sites in Vegas. And I wouldn't be surprised if they found another city or even came back to Oakland. But if they come back to Oakland, it's going to have to be under new ownership.
What's your guess? So if they don't go back to Oakland and they don't move to Vegas, what's your guess about where they land?
I've heard rumors about Salt Lake. I'm not entirely sure.
How about Nashville?
Nashville. That's what I was thinking too.
I think Portland's also pushed for a team
Portland
for a while.
Cool.
They're so close to Seattle, though. I don't know that Portland, yes, it would be cool. I don't know if it makes sense from a proximity standpoint. Downtown Nashville, I think, is outstanding. I mean, if you put a park down there, especially if the Titans get a new stadium or something like that, I think Nashville is a very viable big league town.
Absolutely. So yeah, I do not believe that they will be moving to Vegas.
A ballpark on the Strip sounds like an awesome idea. Don't get me wrong, as we were just talking Vegas earlier. But to your point, I don't know if it's going to work.
Well, and their AAA team is in Vegas or outside of Vegas, and they can only play their first pitches are at 8 p.m. West Coast time.
Yeah, they'd need a roof. They would definitely need a roof for air conditioning.
They're supposed to have a roof, but that's the problem is the ballpark would be incredibly expensive. I also, of all of the sports, Vegas needs a basketball team for sure. I don't know. Baseball fits that whole persona there.
Yeah. I agree.
So good stuff though, Will. And I guarantee you that your girlfriend is the only Oakland A's fan or fiance, the only Oakland A's fan in town. So
awesome stuff, Will.
See you, Will. Thank you.
Roll the boat. Go
Roll the boat, Scotty Ma, go Gophers.
Appreciate it, man. Awesome predictions from Will there. Hey, let's shout out our friends at the 3M Open. You got Lee Hodges defending his title. Sahith Theegala is going to be there. Justin Thomas making his no, not Justin Thomas. Do I have this right? I don't want to have the wrong name here.
Yeah, don't be putting the wrong guys in the tournament here.
Pull my script. I don't want to, sell anyone short there. Justin Rose, excuse me. I knew I had Justin right, not JT, but Justin Rose, a very prominent tour winner, will make his first appearance at the 3M Open July 22nd through the 28th. Tony Finau will be there. He had a great win a few years back. You can get your tickets now by going to 3mopen.com. That's the number 3, the letter M, open.com. Final round of predictions. We'll go Judd, me, Phil. What do you have for me, Judley?
All right, my final prediction is that the Chicago Blackhawks, who have gone from being a Stanley Cup champion a couple of times to being a doormat, the Chicago Blackhawks will make the playoffs this coming season.
Interesting.
I'm going back to the well. I've been wrong about this before, but they've definitely made more moves now. They made a few in free agency. Tyler Bertuzzi left Toronto for Chicago.
Yep.
They made some deals. So I think, and my guess is Bertuzzi's going to be put on a line with Connor Bedard. So I'm going with the Blackhawks finally rebound. They've improved their defense a bit too. Alec Martinez, who had been with the Golden Knights for a few years, is there as well. So Blackhawks make the playoffs this
I
coming
saw the
season.
analytics community just crapping on every signing the Vikings or the Wild made over the last 24 hours.
Well, I mean, they didn't. One is they signed like 6 guys to two-way contracts because the Des Moines team was so crippled last year that they had no chance. So, like, the majority of the guys that they signed were actually to help the Iowa team. Yakov Trenin is not going to excite a lot of people.
No, he will not.
He's not going to excite a lot of people. I thought I actually objected more to the term than the money in that contract, and then they extended Middleton, who I actually like. Now, I did think that he could be a trade chip, but I think he got some no trade protection, which I absolutely hate. So I'm very torn here. I
can tell.
The Wild's future I like. I think they have some really nice young pieces, and they definitely added that to that in the first round of the draft. So there's some things I like there, but this whole let's go get veterans because we need to be. You got to be careful there because you should have been in a very good spot when free agency comes next July 1st, and it feels like again you're tying up spots. So and those no trade clauses, I hate them.
All right, last one for me, Judd. It's Money in the Bank, WWE Money in the Bank this Saturday.
Too bad Phil's not here for this.
Big pay-per-view in Toronto. Always a huge crowd in WWE when they go to Toronto.
I got a question for you when you're done with this prediction.
Okay, so it's the Money in the Bank. Are you familiar with the Money in the Bank concept?
Phil's explained it to me before.
Yeah, so the Money in the Bank contract is for the men's and women's side. There's a ladder match. It's usually a 6-on-6 barrage in the ring. Whoever climbs the ladder first, grabs the briefcase, gets a title shot of their choosing whenever they want over a calendar year. So the person could be incapacitated at the bar and they could cash in that Money in the Bank contract. That hasn't happened yet, but it could happen theoretically. They just have a referee and a briefcase with them at all times.
And this is not the People's Champion?
No, the People's Champion is The Rock, Judd.
No, but that one is I can challenge you.
Oh, you're thinking
anywhere?
Of what was the 24/7 championship.
That's what I'm sorry. Yeah,
yes, that has since been retired.
What?
Yeah, they don't.
Gronk was the 24/7 champion.
Yes,
right?
he was. Yes,
I didn't know it was retired. Phil didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it's no longer a thing. Not a thing.
Okay, all right. Okay. How about
but Drew McIntyre is the favorite to win this. He's this great storyline they have with CM Punk. Even which I'm always a little skeptic of. There's now betting lines for WWE results, which I'm always just like, I don't think we should be able to bet on this. They're predetermined. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But Drew McIntyre is the favorite, but I'm not buying that. I think there's going to be another screw job from Punk to Drew McIntyre involved in this match. That's off the record. And my prediction is Jey Uso will win the Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank. Jey Uso's in the match, main event Jey. They've been pushing him, and it's time to make main event Jey Uso a Money in the Bank winner, which inevitably means a WWE champion. So not Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso will be your men's Money in the Bank winner.
Okay. Because it sounded to me like that and the 24/7 were similar, but if they retired the 24/7, then it makes more sense.
Did you have a question about Toronto?
Yes, I did. What is this that I read I think it was last week, actually, that Indianapolis is going to get like these permanent or be part of a rotation and we're not anywhere. Like, what's going on with, why can't we get, and in all seriousness, the revenue that you get from those events is helpful. Huge. What are we doing wrong here? And what exactly is the rotation of things, or what did the city of Indianapolis get?
Yeah, so they're going to get Mania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble, which is insane.
Which is what you have
for one city to get one of those three things. We're going to get SummerSlam, I think in 2026 is when it's happening, and it'll be a 2-night affair, which is great. SummerSlam's good. It's one of the 4 marquee pay-per-views. But Indianapolis, and by the way, I had some indie defenders in my, like, you have no idea how much better we are than you at every. It's like,
well, I'll tell you about that in a second.
And I know they have very good, they do the combine, they do the meet, they have infrastructure there. I'm not denying that they don't have infrastructure for it.
Yep.
You cannot tell me that Indianapolis can do it better than Minneapolis.
But are they getting all these things like within a certain time period, or like how's this going to work?
I think like all within the same year.
So they pull up a hat trick.
Yeah, and
we still can't get anything.
Yeah,
beyond
Pat
what you just
McAfee
said.
is
Amazing.
like their crown jewel here to make that happen. If they don't have Pat McAfee,
Right.
these things aren't coming
Well,
to Indianapolis.
Okay, that makes perfect sense because he's plugged in as what, a commentator and a wrestler, right?
He's just mostly a commentator. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the difference, because I've said this because I covered the combine like 5 times. Indianapolis, a great convention town.
Sure.
They've got skyways like we do.
Yeah.
But here's what they have. It's very, very simple. They've got a great convention town with leadership. That's what we need. We don't have enough of that. Like, you need somebody. The problem is we don't have a person that can get things done enough. And I mean, we do get events, so it's not like we don't. But I think if we had a better clear-cut mission, the fact that WrestleMania has still not come here,
It's absurd.
is exactly like
Yeah.
that should be that should be on the list of things you have to land. You can't build this stadium, and we're now what, 2000? That was 2016. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and you still haven't gotten that.
Yeah.
You've gotten a Final Four.
Yep.
You've gotten a bunch of nice
Bowl.
things, but that how much money would that bring in?
It's ridiculous. And what
Leadership. Need more of it.
what infuriates me is, like, they don't. I mean, we're gonna do Raw here. In fact, we have a listener event when Raw's here at the end of the month. Phil and I are gonna be in a suite at the X. We're super excited. We're wrestling nuts. We get to meet
Hold on,
Score
I'm
North
gonna check-
listeners.
I'm
It's
gonna
our
check my
happy
notes.
place.
check
Judd,
my
yeah,
notes
it's
to
weird.
see.
Judd's invite didn't get in the mail for that one.
Yeah, I didn't get my email.
But they don't even
spam.
come. They don't even come here for regular big time events. Like,
Right.
they're here once a year. They go to Speaking of Cleveland, they go to Cleveland 4 times a year for shows.
Yeah.
What? This
gotta-
stems.
yeah.
This stems from AWA stuff and everything that goes back. And even with Vince McMahon no longer in the fold,
Right.
the leadership here stinks. And last thing on this, because we clearly spent too much time on wrestling.
That's interesting.
I know the Uber and Lyft thing. I did talk to some sources. The Uber and Lyft hiccup, even though it has since been resolved, was a big driving factor in us not getting WrestleMania.
Oh, that's
a big driving factor.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That makes
scared
perfect
them.
sense.
That scared them away.
Wow. But I mean, how sad is that too?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Interesting. Ooh, that's sort of
Very.
like breaking news there, Declan. That's good.
You're welcome. Phil's
Thank you.
final prediction. I don't know if this is wrestling related. Let's see.
My third and final prediction is presented by Dennis Kirk. All you Ragnars out there, it's riding season, baby. So whatever you ride, DennisKirk.com has over 185,000 parts and accessories to help you on your way the next few weeks and months. There's also a fun event coming up, the first annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk, Saturday, July 13th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Running Aces. Dozens of custom-built motorcycles, hundreds of dollars in Dennis Kirk gift cards, local food trucks, live DJ, more info at DennisKirk.com. Write this down. Royce Lewis, whenever he comes back, whether it's in 2 days or 2 months, you can't hold this guy down. He wakes up and just hits bombs every time he comes back from an injury. So write this down. Royce Lewis, once again, will homer in his first game back from injury.
All right. Fair enough. He was, post game. I saw that, and I know that you were there. He was very sort of cryptic about it. It's funny because he always sounds optimistic, but
No.
then he said it's worse, and was he, so when he talked last night, just quickly, was he talking about the fact that he was afraid that the injury was bad, or that he would just be shut down by a team that rightfully so is often concerned and keeps guys out?
The latter.
Okay.
The latter.
So he just wants to keep playing if he can,
Yeah.
but he knows that and by the way, they're not always wrong.
Yeah, he said he was tight and sore for sure. Like, he's like, yeah, it feels tight right now, even in post game. But yes, the latter.
Okay,
He
so
knows
he's
gonna
saying,
get-
I know what's going to happen. They're going to do the imaging. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to be.
Yeah, he's a Scott Boras client, and even though he battles some injuries, you're curious to see how that relationship evolves with Scott Boras when Royce Lewis does hit free agency, because there's been some weird things that have happened with the Twins in their hands.
I don't disagree with you, but the thing about it is, there has to come a point where he doesn't get hurt, right?
Yeah.
Like it makes it tough.
Agreed.
And I'm not blaming him, but I mean, it's just a continual thing. You know what? Byron Buxton, if he doesn't get hurt, is long gone by now.
Yep.
I mean, that contract, we can complain about it, but that is a dead-on, team-friendly contract signed by a guy who got hurt too much.
Absolutely. Hit the like button, subscribe button. You can stick around for Score North extra innings probably later today. We'll have an update on that situation with Royce Lewis.
And look at your hat, too. I think your hat, didn't they, like, run out of those in the pro shop?
Okay, so our longest ever, I think, write that down episode.
People can turn it off if they want.
So yeah, the corduroy hat here, which sold out like within the first 48 hours when they released the City Connects. They released more yesterday. I was sent on a recon mission from two friends who will remain nameless that they wanted this hat. So I go into the pro shop 20 minutes before gates open yesterday. They haven't had them out yet, and I hear in the background, the little sales meeting that's happening at the clubhouse of how
because you have access early.
Because I have early access. And I'm just perusing as I'm more actually eavesdropping on now this conversation, unbeknownst to me.
Brilliant.
And they basically explained that, hey, we're going to put them out when gates open, and once they're gone, they're gone. And even the team employees, like if you work for the Twins, you get, a discount in shop. Not even a discount for this hat for the team employees. Not even a discount.
$40, you said?
45.
45.
Luckily, Venmo and Amex splitting. I did, nothing came out of my pocket. These guys Venmoed me back the two hats that I bought for them.
Oh, you did get them hats.
I got two hats. I was
were you in front of the line? Or okay, I was going to ask if you used your influence to be like, hey, I'd like to buy a couple before the gates open.
Loyal listener Henry, who checked me out, I believe I have his name right. Henry, big Purple Daily fan. He says hi to you and Phil.
Hi, Henry.
He saw me in line and said, say hi to Phil and Judd for me. I love Purple Daily. So thank you to Henry for checking out.
I hope he got a hat.
Yes. I hope he did too.
I hope he didn't get shut up. All right.
Mackey and Judd, Minnesota Sports, write that down episode.
Questions.
We got Purple Daily lined up throughout the holiday weekend. Enjoy your 4th of July. Stay safe. Have fun. We'll be talking at you next week.